All right, we are live on YouTube. Just one more minute. We are recording as well. Okay. It is 7 p.m. So we can call the public hearing to order. I will look for a motion for adoption of the agenda, please. Moved by Councillor Wood, seconded by Councillor Loreen. All in favor? Thank you. Sorry. All right, so do we have any declarations of conflict of interest or pecuniary interest to the items on the agenda? No? All right, thank you. So the hearing will open with the proposed rezoning of property from hinterland to science and technology property description lot 1023 quad 107B7 plan 4774 on Airport Road. Bylaw 2665 P&D 21, the amendment to the zoning bylaw 2583 P&D 15. SAO Hood, do we have any presentations in favor? Firstly, written presentations or submissions? No. All right, thank you. And secondly, any verbal submissions?
There's nobody here.
Okay, thank you. Oh, Gary McBride is here. No, you're not interested. All right. Are there any written submissions opposed?
No.
Thank you. And any verbal submissions opposed?
Still nobody here.
All right, thank you. The next item on the agenda is the Senior Administrative Officer points of clarification or comments. Did you have any to add here?
I really don't have anything. I think it meets all the requirements, and we did not get any verbal submissions or any opposed to what we're looking at.
Okay, thank you. So with that, then we do not require any motions during the public hearing. The motions will come during the regular council meeting. And so we can move on to item 4.2, which is the proposed amendment to the community plan. Bylaw 2666 P&D 21, an amendment to the community plan bylaw 2582 P&D 15. So again, we'll go through the process. Are there any presentations in favor? Written first.
I did not receive any.
All right, and verbal? No. Any presentations opposed? First written.
I did not receive any.
All right, and we do not have anyone to declare verbal.
Still by myself.
All right, and any points of clarification on this item from yourself, SAO Hood?
No.
Okay, thank you. So with that, I will look for a motion to adjourn the public hearing by Councillor Loreen. Thank you. So we'll move on to our agenda for the regular council meeting. Can I just ask Gary, are you here to present something?
No, just missed you guys. I thought I'd sit in and listen to what was said about some stuff we're finalizing when I was there.
Okay. All right. So funny enough, Grant and I just had a conversation about public joining our meetings today, and so that is okay then, SEO Hood?
Yes,
Thank you. Oh, and we have had Cassidy just join us as well. All right, so on our main agenda, we can look for a call to order. It is 7:04. We'll get the meeting going. We did have some additions to the agenda, items 8.2 and 8.3, which were contribution agreements with the GNWT. So if there are, I'll look for a mover of the agenda, sorry. Moved by Deputy Mayor McDonald, seconded by Councillor Wood. Any further comment or questions on the agenda? Councillor McDonald, or sorry, Deputy Mayor McDonald.
If I could add line item 8.0, resignation of deputy mayor, to the agenda, please.
Okay. I think we'll have to call it, we can do it as 8.4. And then, but you can, if a council agrees, you can move it to the top of the of section 8. Does council agree to that change? Then we'll do 8.4 and move it ahead.
Yeah, I have no problem with it.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, so we will do that. All right, so I will look for a vote on the agenda overall. All in favor? So
Yes.
moved. Thank you. Declaration of conflict of interest or pecuniary interest. Seeing none. All right, thank you. Delegations, presentations, or petitions. We do not have any this evening. And public question period. I do not believe we've received any submissions, but I'll look to SAO Hood for confirmation.
I have received none.
Thank you. So we'll move on to 6.1, the adoption of the minutes. I'll look for a mover of the minutes of the March 8th and 10th, 2021 council meeting, please. Moved by Councillor Loreen, seconded by Councillor Wood. Any questions or conversation on the minutes? Seeing none, we'll call to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you, so moved. And on to the action items list. Are there any questions or comments from council on the list this evening? Councillor Wood.
Sorry, I couldn't find the mute button.
That's okay.
Where am I now? Item 12, has there been any lease signing with the warming shelter? I see it's been outstanding for quite some time, waiting for the new board and manager. I don't even know if they have one. Maybe the SAO could update me, or the mayor?
I can give a start on it anyway. I know that the warming center has been in quite a bit of upheaval. Their programming has actually been split into a separate location as well. So I know that that's been having effect on their administrative duties. But I will ask SAO Hood to let us know if there are any updates available at this time. Oh, you unmuted and then remuted yourself.
Sorry.
Okay.
Right now, I will be contacting them because there's some other paperwork I'm waiting for from them regarding some wage subsidy that they had applied for, and I will again check on. I've asked a couple of times regarding the lease, like as the mayor suggested, they have gone through some difficult situations, so we will continue to move forward as best we can with them.
If I may continue a little bit here.
Go ahead,
Warming
Clarence.
shelter to me is a very valuable asset in this town. I'd hate to see it go by the wayside because of a lack of board or involvement from the general public. Is there any way the town can assist the warming shelter in, I guess, their functions? I don't know how best to put it, but I'm sure you all know what I mean.
I don't have an answer to that, but SAO Hood, please go ahead.
Oh, I don't really have an answer. We could look at it. Again, it would be looking at our resources and what we've got, and maybe giving some assistance where we can. I mean, we have met with them a couple of times and have talked with them. But we can certainly, again, look at where we're standing. I know that housing has been giving them some assistance as well. And as far as their board goes, I can check and see pose the question to them as to where they feel that we can help them out.
Okay, thank you for that, Grant.
Thank you, SAO Hood. Any further questions on the action items list? Councillor Lorraine.
All right, number 11, gym passes. Ability to use passes on a per use rather than per term basis. I've been going to the gym just a bit, and I've noticed that we can do it now by use. So $3 a pop, you can go there, use the gym. So I think that's pretty much resolved. I think that was the one concern I brought up, was that people were wondering if they could just go and, get it per use rather than have to buy a month-long subscription. And then what if they don't use it enough in that time period? So I think that the people are happy.
Okay, thank you for that. I would note that the current use is part of the COVID fee structure. So that's not necessarily the permanent.
Okay.
Yeah. Which
Maybe it's worth noting then that structure is working, I think, in that regard. Maybe this, what I mean? So when we can increase the schedule, but it's good. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. And we do have Lise on the line, so I'm sure she heard that. Lise, did you want to add anything there? Sorry, Director Samir.
Yeah, we do have, I think the 11 was referring to having day use or one of, but being able to access through the gym door back when. And that is not feasible for us. We've always had, you could come into the front desk, pay before it was $7.35 a day. You could come in and we would card you upstairs. You would do your gym workout and then leave. So we've always had that capability. We just don't have the capability to have a card, have you use your card for one day on the door, or pay for 2 or 3 days and use it on the door. It would have to be consecutive days, and people didn't want that. They wanted to pick and choose. And we don't have the programming capability to do that with our current system.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anything further on the action items list? Oh, I see that Mr. Zubko has joined us. We have completed the public hearing already, Tom. There were no submissions or verbal submissions in favor or against. And council will vote on those coming up during the regular council meeting here. Was there, did you have something you wanted to say, or if you can hear me? Okay. So we can leave Tom in the meeting just as we've left Gary. So we will move on to new business. Now council had agreed to do item 8.4 first, and it has been titled Resignation of Deputy Mayor. So I would like to ask Deputy Mayor McDonald if you'd like to say some words. And also if you could please provide me with a written as well.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Kilikowski, please accept this as my formal resignation as Deputy Mayor and Councillor from the town of Inuvik, effective immediately. While I appreciate there is very limited time left in my tenure, external affairs demand my full attention. Like everyone living with COVID-19 pandemic, we have all had to make difficult choices and decisions. Apart from the main challenges of operating a medical supply company during the pandemic, incredible growth in our newly formed industrial supply division, and the many other community organizations I participate in, time has become an issue. It has been an honor to represent the citizens of Inuvik, and I've given this decision serious consideration. To effectively represent the interests of our community, time and commitment are required. Regrettably, I am no longer in a position to afford such a commitment. I wish you and council all the best with the remainder of your term. Thank you, Mayor. Back to you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for your time served as a councillor and as deputy mayor.
And I will leave you there then, and have a good night.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so we will move on to item 8.1, which is the Council Code of Conduct review. It will look slightly different, but we still have a couple things to discuss here. So I've asked this item to be added to the agenda to do a review of the Council Code of Conduct and address reports of breaches that I've recently received. The dignity, understanding, and respect for each other and the decisions that we make around the table are the foundation of the trust and respect held by our residents that we serve. So section 18 in the code is about reporting breaches and states that people who believe the code has been breached in any way are encouraged to bring their concerns forward. And I have received such concerns in reference to Councillor Salatke for the NNSL article, Councillors Want Fewer Better Meetings, former Deputy Mayor McDonald, and Councillor Loreen for the NNSL article, Des Loreen running for Mayor of Inuvik. Now, in accordance with section 19 of the corrective action section, the reported violation will be subject to an investigation by council, and council may impose corrective actions commensurate with the nature and severity of the breach, which may include a formal warning or reprimand to the member. So tonight I'm looking for a decision from council on whether to initiate the investigation by council into the reported breaches. Yes, so Councillor Wood, please go ahead.
I hate doing these things. Let me start out by saying that. A breach of council's code of conduct, in this case, criticizing a council decision by ex-deputy Mayor McDonald. It's just not right. What it shows is a complete disrespect for council. And to a lesser degree, the statements by Councillor Salatke that, oh, I would have changed my vote. Well, do your homework. Then you're not going to second guess yourself.
We'll keep it nice and
Like I say,
formal here, please.
To a lesser extent. Anyway, I was going to suggest, as was one other councillor, that Councillor McDonald stepped down as deputy mayor, but he's already done that and resigned as a councillor. Surprisingly enough, I don't have a problem with Councillor Lorraine. Maybe it was inappropriate, but it didn't bother me too much. I'm sure it didn't bother too many members of the public either, so I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you. Investigatively, to me, it seems pretty obvious what the section that was breached is the section on section 7, which outlines the respect for council decision making and states all members recognize the responsibility of the mayor to accurately communicate the decisions of council, even if they disagree with such a decision, in order to foster respect for the decision-making process of council. I'm not sure that a further investigation beyond linking it to this section 7 is really necessary, unless council really feels strongly that we should move forward with that. I would also say that for Councillors Salatke and Loreen, this is not a common occurrence. I believe that Councillor Loreen especially probably just kind of went off the cuff and just took a sentence a little bit further than was required. And Councillor Salatke also expressed that she wasn't this section of the code of conduct, maybe she wasn't as aware of. And I mean, that comes down to training and whatever else. So I guess I'll look to council here to see if you want to step further with this. If you think that the review of the document is enough for now on the breach and that we trust that together, we can come back united, following the code of conduct with respect, following through the rest of our term. So if councillors would like to add anything, I'm happy to hear it now. Councillor Wainman, go ahead. Oh, you're muted. And then Councillor Merrill, you'll be next.
Not too impressed with the one in the paper, but I guess we're dealing with it. The code of conduct, respect for decision making. We went through this a year ago. We had a big meeting about it. I'm really shocked to see this kind of stuff show up in the paper. And ex-deputy mayor resigned and everything. That's part of it. But we just did this a year ago. We went through this. We all made commitments to communicate and work together. We had a MACA guy come in. I thought we were doing this the right way. I really don't want to ever see this again without undermining my mayor. It just doesn't make any sense. It's disrespectful. They picked on administration. That's not correct. That news writing was very, very insulting to the council and the community. And I understand what you're saying about Councillor Reen. He come off the cuff. I understand that happens, but I'm not concerned about that one. But that news briefing is shocking, at least to say. If you don't have time for council, I mean, resign. That's all I got to say.
Great. Thank you, Councillor Wainman. And Councillor Merrill, you had asked to speak to.
Thank you. I actually think both incidents are serious, to be honest, because when somebody's speaking to the media, whether the media come to them or they go to the media and say things that are disrespectful of the process and of their fellow councillors and of the administration, that's not acceptable. That's not the role we play as town councillors. And for Councillor Ream, whether it's off the cuff or not, it's not acceptable. We don't insult our staff. We don't insult the council members, whether it's a situation of trying to be funny or a serious situation. I really don't see any difference between the two incidents. I think they're both serious. And quite honestly, they concern me about the maturity of council members. We're here to represent the community. We're here to do it professionally. We're here to do it the best way we can. We're not here to hurt each other, or especially not here to hurt the staff. And I think the comments made by both were disrespectful and hurtful.
Thank you, Councillor Merrill. Councillor Wainman, please go ahead.
One more thing is about the meetings and all this quick there and all that. That's a credit to the administration doing their job and having it organized, and to our people at the town that do their job and have it organized for us so our meetings are efficient and good. I mean, that's I got to say that our administration does a great job at setting up our meetings so they're efficient, they're fast, they're not dragging on for 2.5 hours. We've gone down this path in 12 years. I mean, I've seen it where we started that they're 2.5 hours long and they dragged on. And now, whether they're 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, it doesn't matter what they are, but our administration does a great job of organizing this. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Wainman. And Councillor Wood.
Just have to add my 2 cents worth of what Councillor Wainman just said. I think we have a fantastic staff. They do a great job. And yes, that's one of the reasons why our meetings don't drag on and on. We get the information in a timely manner. It's accurate and it's short and sweet, if I may put it that way. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say on that subject. Thank you.
Thank you. So I guess then, Councillor Loreen, did you want to add anything? Sorry to put you on the spot. But...
No, not at all. I was just waiting. No, I understand. I understand fully. I was, talking to the media about my future plans, and he asked me, and I commented on something that I shouldn't have commented on. And I apologize to council, because I definitely do respect the decisions made here. I take this seriously, and I will be better. So again, I apologize to everybody.
Thank you, Councillor Loreen. So at this time, then I will ask counselors, if you want to move forward with the investigation process, or what, if you agree that the investigation actually leads us right into section 7, then is there a way that you would like to address the breaches? Some of the options before us are to leave it at this discussion, a verbal reprimand, a letter, removal from a meeting, removal from committees, or I mean, those are pretty much our options. There's not a lot of them laid out there, but we do have some. And so I'll look to council to hear what your opinion is. This is a decision that I can't make myself. Councilor Miro?
I think we have all the information we need since these incidents happened in public.
Okay.
I honestly think there needs to be a verbal reprimand, but also the 2 people remaining on council need to take responsibility. They made comments that were public that were not appropriate to council members and to staff. And I think because they made those comments publicly, they should also apologize publicly. And I don't mean just in this meeting.
Thank you. Councilor Wood?
I agree 100% with what Councilor Mero just said. I think a public apology is in order and a verbal reprimand.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Wainman?
I echo what Councillor Wood said.
Okay. So, I guess I'm not really sure at this point how we move that forward. I will ask SAO Hood for some advice. It may be that we take this recommendation from council and I provide you with some further information, and then I mean, Councillors Loreen and Salatki can maybe suggest the way in which they would like to do that. Does that seem prudent to councillors on the line? I'll, of course, take advice as well. SAO Hood, did you have anything to offer there? You are muted if you're speaking.
Sorry, it went backwards. Let me move my pointer. There we go. I think, first of all, I appreciate the comments from staff or from council about staff, and that I would say that it sounds like, and just from afar, it sounds like what council is really saying is that they don't feel that there's an investigation needed, that there is just, they've given what they feel is the recommendation should be done. And once that's done, then we move on from what I've been hearing.
I do appreciate that. All right, but I guess, so my, what I'm looking for then from council is what this looks like as a verbal reprimand, or I can take it back and I can find out what other jurisdictions have used for this type of reprimand. Councilor Miro, maybe I'll go to you, as it is your
I think
first suggestion.
Macca could probably help you with that direction.
Okay, so then is it council's wish that I take it back and come back to you with a solution?
Yes, please. I think we ourselves then need to follow the proper process and format.
Okay.
And Mac is likely the best source of information for that.
All right. So councillors Loreen, Wood, and Wainman, do you agree with that?
I agree.
Yes. Okay. So then I will come back to this subject soon. So having completed that section, we can move on to section 8.2. This was one of the new additions. This is a contribution agreement that we received late from, or very recently from MACA. This is the contribution for operations and maintenance funding. Recommendation from administration is that Inuvik Town Council hereby approves the contribution agreement with the Government of the Northwest Territories for operations and maintenance funding in the amount of $2,627,000. May I have a mover, please? Councillor Wood, and a seconder. Councillor Wainman. Any further discussion or points of clarification on this item? See none. All right, we will call to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. And on to 8.3. This is the other addition. This is the water and sewer contribution agreement. As noted in the briefing document, this one has had an increase from last year, so that's nice to see for us. Recommendation is that Inuvik Town Council hereby approves the contribution agreement with the Government of the Northwest Territories for water and sewer funding in the amount of $1,385,000. May I have a mover, please?
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Councillor Wainman and seconded by Councillor Miro. Any questions or comments on the water and sewer funding agreement? Seeing none. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. So we can move on to item 9.1, which is the amendment to the zoning bylaw 2583 P&D 15, which was just moved through the public hearing. And so the recommendation is that Inuvik Town Council hereby gives second reading to bylaw 2665 P&D 21, a bylaw to amend the zoning bylaw 2583 P&D 15. I will look for a mover of the bylaw, please. Moved by Councillor Wood and seconded by Councillor Miro. Was that a second?
Yes, it is.
All right. Any questions or comments on the bylaw? I'm seeing none, so we'll call to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. And on to the amendment of the community plan bylaw. So recommendation is that Inuvik Town Council hereby gives second reading to bylaw 2666 P&D 21, a bylaw to amend the community plan bylaw 2582 P&D 15. I'll look for a mover, please.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Councillor Miro, seconded by Councillor Wood. Questions or comments on this bylaw? Seeing none. Oh, Councillor Wood.
Not a comment on the bylaw, but if you're wondering why I've been in and out of the picture, I just spilled my coffee all over my power cord, so I've been kind of busy.
All right. So if there's nothing else on this bylaw, we can call to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Councillors Loreen and Wayman, yes. All right, so on to item 9.3, the third reading of the bylaw to acquire commissioner's land. Recommendation is that Inuvik Town Council hereby gives third and final reading to bylaw 2667 LND 21, a bylaw to acquire a real property. Look for a mover, please.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Miro, and seconded by Councillor Wood. Questions or comments on third reading? Seeing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. So from here, we move on to our department head reports. 10.1, the financial variance report. So I guess we'll move the reports and then we can speak to them. Recommendation is that Inuvik Town Council hereby adopts the following department head reports as presented. 10.1, the financial variance report, and 10.2, the capital projects report. I'll look for a mover of the reports, please. Moved by Councillor Wood, seconded by Councillor Wainman. Questions or comments first on the variance report? Seeing none. All right, and then on to the capital projects report. And I'm seeing none. All right, with that, we can call to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. And on our information items, we have the strategic priorities chart. And then we come to council concerns. Are there any concerns this evening? Councillor Wayman.
Evening. As a town councillor, and we're having these meetings in Zoom and everything, I don't believe as a councillor you should be your screen should be blacked out. I think we should, as town councillors, have all our screens open. Not so much for administration or anything, but as a town councillor and as we're being on YouTube and we're doing these Zoom meetings, then I would think that we'd leave our screens on so everyone can see what we're doing and how we're reacting. It is a public thing. Just one of those things I think that's proper. Thank you.
Thank you. I will note that with the councillor that is participating without a screen is actually calling in by phone. So that may not be possible.
Yeah, I understand the phone thing.
Yeah.
I've got on the phone sometimes too, but if you are on a computer, that I would appreciate if we let the public see. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else under council concerns this evening? Councillor Lorraine, did you have your hand up? Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to make a note about the absence of the assistant deputy mayor, but now I'll make a note about the absence of our deputy mayor. And I just think we should have one. Worst timing ever for sure, but I'd like to put my name forward. So I don't know how we can do that, but that's just what I'd like to put out.
Okay, I think it'll be a vote of council at the next meeting. So yeah, that's how we elected our deputies after the election. And so you are right though, that we don't have a deputy or assistant deputy right now. So, but I'm not going anywhere either. Councillor Miro, did you have something to add there?
No, I agree with you. It's best to wait to the next meeting.
Okay. So finally, we do not have any in camera tonight, so I will look for a motion to adjourn, please. Councillors Wayman, Councillor Wayman. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Have a great evening. We'll chat
Thank you.
soon.
Have a good evening.